you're saying you make music that elevates and music that speaks on the realness of our community, the crimes and stuff like that, right? The killing, gang. But which one get glorified more?
You have that.
The negative side.
That part.
That's not hard to tell. The negative side always get glorified. And guess what?
Indeed, exactly what I just said.
This white man come, find you, give you a deal, and let you know, hey, in this contract, I want you to keep putting this kind of music out.
Right.
That's what happens to us. And guess what? We're not here to challenge. We're not challenging you. We're teaching you something, right? Because you have some kind of wisdom in you, right? By the way you're speaking. We're not challenging you. When we're asking you questions, we're letting you know there's something wrong. There's no reason why everywhere, not just in America, there's no reason why everywhere in the world we're in the same conditions. We gotta look at ourselves as a whole and be like, yo, why the hell the neighborhood in Savannah look like the neighborhood in Atlanta, look like the neighborhood in LA, look like the neighborhood in New York, look like the neighborhood in Africa, look like the neighborhood in Jamaica. It's always the same setup. White people set up shops, rob our communities, and we're stuck at the bottom. Read verse 45.
Listen. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon you and shall pursue thee.
And this is the thing. Our condition are curses from God because we had a contract with God. We had an agreement with God. He chose us to be the special people on the earth, to rule the earth, but we went against some of the guidelines he had set up for us. Go ahead.
And overtake thee till thou be destroyed.
So those curses, they overtake us. Even though you want to do positive music, the curses are gonna overtake you. The negative music are gonna get brought to light or gonna get glorified because it's negative. It's part of the curses, part of killing one another, drug dealing. It's part of the curses. Go ahead.
Because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
That's the important part. It's because we don't listen to God. You hear that, OG? You hear that? The reason why we're in this condition that we're in is because we don't listen to God. Go ahead.
To keep his commandments.
To what?
To keep his commandments.
We're not keeping the commandments. You know some of God's commandments?
Read it out.
I do, King.
Okay, keep reading.
And his statutes, which he commanded thee.
46.
Verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder.
Here's the thing. The curses, they're going to be on us for a sign. It's to identify who we are. Right. Nobody else can have these signs on them. Right. Us being at the bottom, us being brought here on slave ships. Look, this is part of the sign, right? The slave ships, that's part of the sign.
That's right.
Hard labor, picking cotton, being sold, those are part of the sign. No other nations can claim to be this right here. The Israelites, God's chosen people. Go ahead.
And upon thy seed forever.
It says, and upon thy seed forever. 2 Ezra 5, 42. It says it's gonna be on our seed forever. Meaning the same thing your great-grandfather went through, you gotta deal with. Go ahead, 1 second.
2 Ezra chapter 5 and verse 42. And he said unto me, I will liken my judgment unto a ring.
So God's judgment is like a ring, right? Go ahead.
Like as there is no slackness of the last, even so there is no swiftness of the first.
What does that mean? You understand what that's saying? He said his judgment is like a ring. Remember, he judged us for breaking the agreement we had with him. So we're in these conditions right here. Right. Slave ships, picking cotton. We're the ones that fill the jailhouses nowadays. These are the curses, right? They said it's like a ring. It's gonna be, we gotta be the one to break that cycle. It's ongoing. The first judgment and the last judgment, it says it's not slack, meaning it's steady. It's constantly going around. The first thing we went through and the last thing we went through, we're gonna constantly keep going around in that judgment until we break the cycle. How do we break the cycle?
Bring it out.
Okay, I'm gonna show you how we break the cycle. Get that, Deuteronomy 10, I think.
10 to 12.
10 and 12. Let me show you. Remember, the agreement we have with God is if we follow what he say, we're going to be the top nation on the earth.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure you have some insight of that, right? When we ruled the earth, even up until the dark ages, we was ruling, right? Go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 10 and verse 12.
Bring it up.
And now, Israel, what doeth the Lord thy God require of thee?
So now you're an Israelite. You're not black. You're not African. You're not a Moor. You're not none of those things.
That's right.
Your true identity is you're an Israelite, and the other nations, they hide that from you.
Right.
They call themselves Israelis, Jewish, but you're the real Jew.
Right.
You're the real Jew. Go ahead.
But to fear the Lord thy God,
So your job is to fear God. Go ahead.
to walk in all his ways.
When it says to fear God, meaning you gotta fear the judgments. Remember we talked about the judgments, right? They're like a ring. You gotta fear that judgment that will stay on us, and there's nothing we can do to remove it.
Right.
Go ahead.
To walk in all his ways, and to love him.
So once you fear that judgment, once you fear God, you're gonna walk in all his ways. Meaning, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, no adultery, no fornication, no murmuring. Right? You're gonna eat the rightful dietary. You're gonna follow the dietary law that's outlined in the Bible.
Right.
That's walking in God's way. Right? Go ahead.
To walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul.
Go ahead.
To keep the commandments of the Lord.
To what?
To keep the commandments of the Lord.
So this is how we break the cycle.
Right.
By keeping, by learning, applying, and keeping the commandments of the Lord. Go ahead.
And his statutes, which I command thee this day for thy good. Behold, the heaven and
Read that part again. For what?
which I command thee this day for thy good.
You hear that? It says the commandments are for, against Psalms 19. It says the commandments are for our good.
Right.
Guess what now? Once I learn the commandments, once we learn the commandments as a community, we're not gonna have the negative music, the trade, the lifestyle that our young men follow now.
Right.
We're not gonna have that. We're not gonna have baby mamas, because I'm gonna know marriage is an honorable thing. If I lay down with a woman, that's my wife. I gotta marry her.
Right.
I'm not gonna be looking at my brother's wife no more. I'm gonna know a man that commit adultery, he lacks understanding.
Right.
Because a marriage is an honorable thing between one man and another woman. I can't violate that. You see that? That's why it's for our good. Go ahead, read that.
Psalm chapter 19 and verse 7. The law of the Lord is perfect.
You see that? It says the law of the... And I heard you say something earlier, right? You say there are lies told about the Bible, right? There's things that people like to argue back and forth. You know what they can't argue? Thou shalt not kill.
Right.
Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not commit fornication. You can't argue that. That's why it says the law of God is perfect. If we want to be a perfect nation, we want to be that powerful black power mighty nation that we once was, all we got to do is keep the laws to be perfect. And God will start fighting for us again.
Right.
Go ahead.
The law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul.
It says converting the soul. You know what that means? Changing. It converts you. It changes who you are. Go ahead.
The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple.
And guess what? You become a wise man once you know the laws, the statutes, and commandments. Once you know what it takes to change your community, you become a wise man.
That's right.
And guess what's gonna happen? Get Ecclesiastes 7 and 7. Let me show you what happens once you become a wise man.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7 verse 7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad.
You become a wise man, and you're gonna be mad at the things that's happening to your people, right? But guess what? You gotta channel that anger into waking your people up, showing them the trap that this society has set up for them, and how to break that trap with the
Nation. nation is men leading by example.